Hey, Ryan, you can get on radio too? All right. All right, Slade, you guys everybody ready? Really proud of the resiliency this group showed in the second half. Got to give them a lot of credit the way they came out as confident as they were in the first half. Was disappointed with I said to one of the coaches at halftime, we have not seen this from this team since July. Selfish, not into it, not executing stuff we were calling, and then lackadaisical defensively, no urgency to match up and transition. We challenged them at halftime, challenged Glenn and Dexter as leaders, challenged Rodrigue. And they set the tone in the second half, and then we got great contributions across the board. So big time gut check, super proud of the team.
Wayne, it looked like you're 17 out of 21 from the free throw line in the second half. Was there a pretty conscious effort to take it to the basket?
We never got to the bonus. I think they had 14 fouls in the first half, and it's because we were 7 for less than mediocre. We were putting no pressure on them then, which was part of the game plan. And so we challenged our bigs. And when you saw us, we were turning it over, throwing it into the post. Just, I think first game jitters, them jumping us. But the second half, we said we've got to pound it out. They'll have to collapse. We'll get to the free throw line, and then our shooters will be freed up a little bit on the perimeter. And I think we had 1-3 at half, and then when we go in the second half, 5 for 7. So we know we have to play inside out. Put pressure on the rim, it's going to free up shooters on the perimeter. But I thought our defensive intensity and effort on the glass is what, pulled it away.
With the way this game played out, with a young team, this is probably the ideal scenario, isn't it? Where you have to show some guts and you finish a game and the young team and all that.
Is that hard? But yeah. No, I told the coaches before we met with the team after the game, we couldn't have scripted it any better. We showed some things that were things that would cost us if we did them, and then our guys responded in the second half to doing it our way. This has been a resilient group. I mean, was it 19 our biggest deficit, and then in Italy, totally different situation, but we were down 17, came back. We've had some runs in our scrimmages and exhibitions, so we knew they had it in them, and we just had to kind of get them to that place. But for having some injuries, having some young guys having to play, Glenn, we're putting one on his shoulders as a sophomore, but he's built for it. He's built for it. He was the first guy to grab me after we hope and saying, I'm going to be much better moving forward. But, Dexter, our new guys, they want to get things turned around for Oregon State. We know it's really early, but maybe they put a little too much pressure on themselves and they relaxed and stuck to what has made them who they are. The second half, we saw what we knew they were capable of doing.
Well, in that second half, defensively, you hold Tulsa to 8 for 26 shooting. Was it just a better understanding of what you guys were trying to do defensively, or more energy, or what was it in that second half?
Just sticking to our roots. We go over shell drill every day, being in the gaps at the right time, being outside talking. I feel like this first game was so important. It was trying to be perfect in the first half, and I feel like that got to be good.
Wayne, what kind of impact did Rodrigue have for you in that second half?
You saw it. I mean, he was an animal on the glass on both ends. He wasn't himself to start the game. Maybe it's because he hasn't played forever, and he wasn't himself. I just didn't see that fire in his eyes when the ball went up in the air. And even in the locker room, when we got after the guys, he had his chin down, and we challenged him to pick his chin up and respond in the second half. Scholl did a great job protecting the rim, and then I thought Rodrigue's physicality was a difference down the stretch.
And Jordan, Coach kind of talked about it there, but what can this kind of win do for you guys, the way you had to come back in that second half?
It shows us that if we pull together, stick to the discipline, and never get too down, too high, always trust each other, and just trust the system that Coach Jim put in, we'll be able to fight back from injuries.
Glenn, you guys opened the second half, I think, with a 14-0 run. At that point, did it feel like, I mean, obviously you're back in the game, did you feel like, though, you really had a chance at that point?
I feel like the whole game we had a chance, especially at halftime. I feel like we came back from deficits like that before, and Italy, like Coach said. I feel like our leaders kept us in it, encouraging us to get back in it, and we made that run. With Jordan Pope big threes, it gave us a lot of what I want to say, momentum. So, and then that's why we was going to stop after. Then from there we was going to stop after stop, trying to stop after stop.
Wayne, were you, I mean, I guess surprise is not a great word, but, I mean, were the young team surprised they could finish like this? I mean, because it's, I mean, you got to that point, but you got to finish it, I guess. You don't really know until
You know, I was, to be honest, was really shell-shocked with our performance in the first half. We've not seen one, and I tell you the truth, we've not seen one glimpse of that. Guys going off on their own, one-on-one, you know, poor decisions, not meeting passes, just sloppy. We were in a fog, and so I was shocked. But we figured it out at halftime, what we needed to focus on. We kept it pretty simple. Great staff that kept us organized and dialed in. But we knew what they were capable of in the second half, if they did the things. The last thing I said before we left the locker room before the game was, guys, we don't have to be superheroes. Just do what we've been working on the last 4 months, and we'll be fine. They did that in the second half. Yes, it was nice seeing him hit some threes, Dima hitting some threes in the second half. Glenn finishing at the rim, right? He didn't finish too well in the first half. And once we got that momentum going, the defense cranked up, Rod was a beast on the boards. And you know, you sit there and you're like, okay, 2 minutes to go, are we going to be satisfied that we fought back? Or, hell no, let's finish the deal. You know, and we had a couple of turnovers there that we thought might hurt us, but they just dug in so well defensively. You know, it didn't obviously come back to bite us, and they closed it out. Good?
Glenn, you let your hair down in the second half. I think that was the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
How was it the first half?
Yeah.
You want to see that?
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, we're not.
Like I was too pretty.
You gotta leave
We want gritty, not pretty. That's how Louise. I'm glad you noticed that, Nick. He texted me this afternoon about could he wear tights. He didn't text me about the hair.